my name is Roshan C. Evans, and I am the falsely accused sex offender. I am on my way today to the DMV to get me a new identification card. Identification cards, they are required to be renewed for me once a year. I believe everyone else IDs and driver's license may be good for at least 4 years. It could be more than that, but I have to get mine renewed every year. And if I move from one home to another home, I have to renew my ID card every time I move as well. So if I move 3 times in a year, I have to get 3 different ID cards with the new address on each one. And I did recently move, let's see, was that March maybe? And I got a new ID card, but it didn't go so well out where I moved, out in Rosenberg. So I ended up having to move back to Harris County the month pretty much before my birthday month. So I got an ID. It was in April actually. And even though I got an ID in April, which is a month before my birthday in May, I have to turn around and come get another ID in May, because any ID or driver's license that I get before my birthday month, even if it's 3 days before my birthday month begin, I'll have to renew my ID in the month of my birthday, or it's invalid. So I'm on my way to the DMV with these old IDs so I can go and pick up a new ID, and hopefully the long is not too long, because I do not want to be down there all day. We'll see when we get there. We are here at the Texas Department of Public Safety to get a new ID, and the line is not as bad as I thought it would be before I got here.
N 5007 Station 10, ahora sirviendo N 5007 a la estación 10, now serving S 3052 Station 10, ahora sirviendo S 3052 a la estación 10, now serving S 3052 Station 10.
Yes.
S352. On your right.
For sure. What can I do for you?
I need to get a replacement ID.
Okay, so you had one before?
I did.
Okay. Do you have ID so I can look it up for you, like social security card or
Yes,
something?
I do. Actually, just give me 1 second.
That ID is still valid, right?
It is.
Okay, fill out more paperwork. That's why I asked.
Oh, no. I have
Okay, so
these.
fill this out.
Okay.
You know what?
Oh my
I only need
God.
one of these. You're not gonna fill in this part. Just from
Okay.
here up and sign.
Okay, can I make it quick right here real fast?
Oh yeah, I'm not chasing you off.
Okay, thank you.
I gotta look you up and stuff, so you good. Okay, so we're gonna have to renew it because it expires when we.
Now serving L4000.
Yes.
Station 7. Ahora
let's see.
subiendo L 4000. 30. Ocho. Baja estación 7. Now serving L4000. 38. Next station 7. Ahora sirviendo L 4030. 8. Baja estación 7.
Is that a business on Highway 6
No.
hotel or what? Because it's saying it's a business.
Oh yeah, well, it's a business. It's a PO box.
Now serving L4000. 38. Next station 7. Ahora sirviendo L 4030. 8. Baja estación 7.
I'm almost finished.
Oh, no, you're fine. Okay.
Would you like to register the vote? Yes.
Go ahead. Put your address.
Okay.
This is your resident, your mailing. So.
Okay.
Now serving S3053. Next station 7. Ahora sirviendo S 3053. Baja estación 7. Now serving S3053. Next station 7. Ahora sirviendo S 3053.
Okay.
Baja estación 7.
Saw you.
Here you go.
Oh, sign the bottom.
Okay. Here you go. Oh, and the date is.
I'll get that one.
Okay.
I just
That's your pen.
sign there for me, please.
Okay.
So you're gonna lay down both of your thumbs up here. Don't mash them down. Just lay them flat for me.
Okay. Let me know when.
Go ahead. Okay, step back the picture. In the middle of this blue screen right here. Look right here for me. Wait for the flash before you move. Good.
Now serving L4000, 39, next station 12. Ahora sirviendo L4030, 9, baja estación 12.
No. Okay. So let me go back to change this. And so Birchmont is an actual residence.
Yes.
They stole my wallet
You can't have ID unless it's the same thing. Well, fuck. I know this is gonna be.
Okay, so we're printing Birchmark on the card, but we're mailing to Highway 6 out.
Oh no. Because like I gave you that because I thought you needed one, but I'm actually tentative where I don't have an address, but I need my ID.
Okay, so then I typed it right the first time. Off of here. So
Yes.
that's the address you want placed
Right.
on your card.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Read it.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Well, I just type out the one.
If I knew that was what you was doing, I would have told
That's
you.
why I repeated it back to you.
Yeah.
Because I saw your status. I know you got to have a specific address on it. I was
Yeah.
fixing to ask you about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, 3418 Highway 6 South Suite.
B314.
Suite B 314?
Yes.
Now serving is 3050 for Station 4. Ahora sirviendo es el 1054 a la estación 4.
It's this one?
I'm gonna put the highway
Yeah, the Highway
314.
6. Yeah. Are you registered to vote?
Yes.
So you don't have to do that again. Do
Okay.
you need a replacement card?
I do. Thank you.
Okay, it's gonna be $21.
Okay.
Gonna pay cash or charge?
Charge. Here you go.
Stop fucking.
Oh no.
Thank you.
That's it, so fucking. No.
And I'm all set.
Mm-hmm. So let's get this one back here. There you go. Okay, 2 to 4 weeks it should come to your PO box, okay? All done. Have a nice day. And you're gonna exit out the back when you go to leave, okay?
Thanks.
Okay.
Now serving is 2000.
Have a good day. All right. Well, looks like I'm finished with that, or finished getting a new ID. I hate when they take scissors and want to clip my IDs. If I want my ID clipped, I clip my ID myself. Now, I gotta ride down here. Now I have to find a ride somewhere else or figure out something to do. Probably want to go get me something to eat somewhere. Not certain what I'm about to do. It'd be nice if I could go sit somewhere where I can get some internet. So so I can go do some schoolwork. So, alright, guess it's time for me to figure out what I have to do next. Figure out where I'm going. So the young lady in DMV, as I'm thinking about it, she said, when she was talking about my address, and she was gonna put the wrong address on there. She was gonna put one of my old addresses on my ID card because she asked me for a residency address, and I didn't have one to give her, you know, technically, but she asked for one, so I assumed that in order for me to get my ID card, I had to supply her with a physical address. So since I thought I had to supply her with a physical address, I gave her my old address because I thought it was needed. And she was going to put that old address on my ID card, which would have made me have to come down and get another ID card if she would have printed it that way, because I would have got in trouble for having the wrong address on my ID card, which could have got me locked up and sent me away to prison. And I'm happy I caught that she was putting the wrong address on my ID. But before she submitted my ID, she said something about my status, which tells me that, and I don't know what they can actually see in their computer or what it say, but she's certainly seen my status. Let's see, I gotta walk through this. I don't want to walk through that. Yeah, I don't want to walk through that. But she said, yeah. What's going on now? All right. She said, yeah. I seen your status, and I was gonna ask you about that. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, it's like if you want to embarrass somebody, just label them as a sex offender. That's what you do. I mean, and they want to stamp that label to everything. Anything that has anything to do with you or your name, they want to stamp that sex offender stamp right on whatever have to do with you. Your driver's license, your passport. I was looking into getting a passport, and since I have this label as a sex offender from a case that I should have never been charged any type of sex offense crime, but I was charged, or I signed a plea deal as a kid, I should say. And I have this case, so it is what it is. But I was looking into a passport, and in order for me to get a passport, they want to give me a special passport that shows in the back of my passport that I'm a sex offender. And it's like, why would I go overseas with a passport that stamped in the back that says I'm some type of sex offender and go overseas with it, when everybody already look at people from America like we're rich Americans? We have so much money and so much everything, and we're spoiled, and And they just think that, like, I've never been overseas before, but I've been to Mexico, and I see how everybody look at me different over there, and everybody wants something. It's like, oh, the American right there, the American, he got something. And it's like they try to get as much as they can out of you, regardless if it's just regular citizens to people that works for the government. I mean, like, even crossing the American-Mexico border one time, I didn't have my driver's license, and they wanted, they knew I was an American. I mean, well, I should say they knew I wasn't a Hispanic, but they knew I was an American, but yet they wanted $100 for me to be able to cross back into my own country. So it's like, corruption is real. Corruption is real, and people use leverage to support their own agenda. That's real. So if you want to put something on the back of my passport like a sex offender status, and I go over to another country and they looking at me like a rich American or American with wealth or something that they don't have, and they think they can get something out of me, they will. And the way that they will try to get whatever they gonna get out of me, I could see them using my sex offense status. You know, saying I did something to somebody, I touched somebody, or I did this, and if I don't pay this fine, then they gonna do this or that to me, or put me in one of their prisons or jails overseas because I did something that they know I didn't do, all because they want some money that came from a sex offense status that was on the back of my passport. I can't have that. It's like, you know, I can imagine, and this is all imagine, I can imagine me going overseas with a passport, and with that label in the back of my passport, I can imagine them flagging my rooms and trying to set me up for okie dokes. And then, if I did not do certain things, if I didn't do certain things that they wanted me to do, because something that they would expect me to do because of the label, I can just imagine how they'd just place it upon me anyway. And then after somebody placed upon me whatever lie they wanted to put on me, then, you know, it's like, whatever I say, it wouldn't matter. The reality, the fake reality in people's mind would be, well, if he have one charge, then he did that too. Or if he's already been convicted once of that, then, and now he's getting convicted again, this is his second time. Or this is his third time. Or, you know, it's like, oh, well, if he signed a plea deal before admitting guilt, then obviously he must be guilty of whatever they saying he's guilty of. I'll never own a passport. So they already got my driver's license flagged and everything I do. They want to flag me at school, flag me at work. It's like they want to flag my apartments, flag my houses. And it's like, okay. And everybody running for political office talking about criminal justice reform. Everybody running for political office talking about change. And the change everybody talking about, everybody want to talk about a change that most people, they want to talk about a change that most people can, like, agree with. they talk about change without pinpointing nothing. And I can tell you one change that ain't nobody, no politician focused on. And that is sex offense laws. Sex offense crimes with people who should not be on the registry. Nobody's paying attention to that because it's not the popular thing to look at. And since it's not popular, nobody cares. Yeah. There goes McDonald's. Maybe I'll go up in here. Or not. I don't know if I want to sit in there. Yeah, but nobody want to talk about criminal justice reform when it comes to sex offenders because it's not on the popular agenda. So everybody that's running for political office, they want to say what's appeasing to the masses, you know. And all they doing is saying what's appeasing. I'm waiting to see people who really want to focus on criminal justice reform and really want to put a foot forward in criminal justice reform. Because one thing, I mean, first of all, if you want to do anything dealing with criminal justice reform, then you can't just come have a seminar or a symposium in certain places where people of poverty be. You can't just come and talk and tell them what you want to do and take a few questions and leave. Nah. You gotta actually work next to people that's affected by these laws. Like, you really need to work with them and work like next to them. Like, you need to have people that you can call on your phone that have been victims of the system. And if you are not connected as a politician to people that have been affected by the system, and you're talking about criminal justice reform or judicial change, then I don't really see it happening because you can't even relate. It's like your friends and the people that you consider friends and the people you talk to on the regular probably never had a felony or had a felony but was able to get theirs taken care of because they are in a different position than most. So for these judicial candidates running for office, talking about change, criminal justice change, judicial change, criminal justice reform, y'all need to have y'all some friends that's actually been a victim of the judicial system and make change, like make some real change that will bring a real difference to people that really need it, even if it's not a popular decision to make. It's hot in Texas. I'm happy we not in July or June yet. If this was July or June, I would probably still be sitting where I was sitting at the DMV because it will be too hot. It'll be too hot to be moving around and trying to get around and get by. Some people would have probably got tired of looking at me if it was in the middle of June. I'd have been soaking up all the AC. What's going on now? All right. So I got my paper ID and my ID should come anywhere between 7 and 10 business days or 10 days or less. And from last month to this month, I noticed that last month they charged me the $10 like think it was like $10.81 they charged me for my ID this month. And again, normally for people that's not on the registry, I think they may not have to renew their license until every like 4 years or so. I could be totally wrong. It might be more. But I have to renew mine every year. And for my yearly renewal, and that's outside of me moving, because if I move, then I have to renew my license every time I move, or anytime anything update or change with my address. But for me, instead of mine's being $10 like everyone else, mine's is $20. So they double the price for me or people that's on the registry, and we have to do it yearly or multiple times a year depending on when we move. If you don't move, we still have to do it once a year, and the price for us is double. And this time they charged me, like normally I paid $20 just because I'm on the registry, but last month they actually charged me the regular rate as if I wasn't on the registry. And this month, which is I would literally be getting me a new ID less than 30 days. I got one last month, and I'm getting one this month. They charged me $20 again. So now it make me think, it's like, do they have to charge me the double price? Like, is it at the discretion of the cashier? You know, how did I get the ID last month for the regular rate of $10, and the DMV or Austin still mailed my ID out to me? But this time, I guess they didn't notice last time that I was on the registry. I don't know. But this month, the young lady, she made a point to tell me that she noticed my status, and instead of me getting a $10 rate, I had the $20 rate. So I'm wondering, do they have to charge me $20, or is it something that they tell them, like, okay, well, if you have somebody that's on the registry, make sure you charge them $20, but will they send the ID out regardless if we pay $10 or $20? And it's crazy that, you know, with people on the registry, and this is another thing, like with financial stability, you know, like how people on the registry, it's hard for them to come across jobs because of the registration status. It's hard for us, I should say, not them, to find homes and apartments and houses or places to live, you know, roommates, whatever. And then you talk about how people that may be on probation, parole, registration, whatever the case may be, how they are hit with so many fees, like just living fees, just because people can hit them with living fees. Like, there is no reason my ID should be double the price of anyone else's, especially when every time I move I have to get another one, or especially when I have to renew my ID every single year. Like, why is my ID double the price of anybody else's ID or driver's license? Especially when I have to do it so frequently. So it's like they are taking advantage of people that's been funneled through the system to try to get as many dollars they can from them any way that they can. So besides your probation fees, parole fees, anger management fees, alcohol and abuse fees, if you have those, you know, it's like they want to charge you for everything. It's like, okay, it's hard enough for us to get a job. Okay, we get jobs, but then you want to charge us for everything. You're gonna charge me double the price to get an ID. So instead of paying $10 every 4 or however many years it is for a regular person. I pay $20 every single time I get an ID. So that's either once a year or as frequently as I move, I have to get another ID, and the price of that ID is double. Why wouldn't it be the same? Why isn't my ID the same price? I mean, I'm getting the same ID. There's nothing different on it. Okay? The only thing that's different is the frequency of when I have to renew. And my price is double. Just because I'm on the registered sex offender list. They get to choose me double the price of an ID and a driver's license. Same color ID, driver's license, same size, same information. But in their system, they know who I am, and they are allowed to charge me double for ID or driver's license. That should be illegal. And I wish, I don't know, it's not right that they get to charge me double for ID or a driver's license just for the simple fact that I'm on a registration. It's like they are not doing anything extra to produce my ID or driver's license from the next person's driver's license or ID. It's like, back in the day, or you know what, better yet, I'm gonna use a few different examples. It's like, to me, it's like a new school racism, but instead of it being race, it's record. You know, so like when you go to certain countries, and I'm not gonna pinpoint the countries out, people who've been to certain countries know what I'm saying. And yes, I only been to one country, so, but I read books and I have friends that travel all across the world, and I hear and experienced that when you go certain places, something that may cost $2 for one, since you are from a place like America, the price might be $8 for something that may be $2 for someone else. Yes, price inflation, because you are from a different nationality and may have a little more. You have people like, for example, hair stores. One reason you don't see African Americans or colored people with hair stores, beauty supply stores, is because it's hard to get into the market and get the hair at the same retail market rate as the Asians. They boxed us out, and they are the only ones that's able to get the deal that they are getting. It come from them, and they keep it with them. And if we want to get in the hair market, they're gonna charge us way more than they would charge one of their own. So it keep us out of the market. So it's like, it's racism, you know, keeping us, like charging people extra money just because you are not the same. Okay, well, with them charging me double the price for ID, it's something like that, but instead of it being racist, it's with, like I say, records. So since I have the label, it make it okay for the DMV to charge me double every single year for ID, and it's not right. It's like legal racism, but it's not with the racists. It's with people that have a particular criminal record. Even though I'm not on probation or parole, they still get, or they are still allowed to charge me double the price for my driver's license and my ID card, and it's not cool. It's not right. You know, hopefully one day things will change, and hopefully the change will start with me bringing this bringing attention to or bringing awareness to what's going on. But we'll see what happens. Yep, a lot of times, just because somebody can, that means it's a good possibility they will. Not because they should, but because they have the power. And that's what it's about, power. Making people. Yep. So, right now, that's what I gotta do. $20 an ID. $20 a driver's license. Every single year. Every single time I move. $20. $21.65 to be exact.